A sinner dreams he's drowning, and an angel teaches him to say Shahada. It was well past midnight when Hamza woke gasping for air. His chest felt heavy, his limbs thrashing as if he were swimming against an unseen tide. In the dim room, the only sound was his ragged breathing and the creak of the old ceiling fan above. He tried to cry out, but his throat felt clogged. Water pressed at his mouth, his lungs burned. He kicked desperately, but there was no ground beneath his feet, only the endless pull of deep, dark water. Panic seized him. "I'm drowning," he thought, terror sharpening every breath. "I'm going under." Then, suddenly, it went silent. The water stilled around him. His heart pounded in the quiet. He floated, chest heaving, eyes wide with fear. A soft light appeared ahead. At first, he thought it was the moon, shimmering underwater. But as he drifted closer, he saw a figure standing on what looked like dry land just beyond the waves. The light was not pale. It glowed like a lamp in the night. "Is someone here?" Hamza strained to call, but no sound came. The figure turned. Hamza swallowed. In the pale glow, he saw an angel, tall and calm, with wings folded at his sides. His face was gentle, his eyes filled with mercy. "Hamza," the angel said, voice echoing in Hamza's mind rather than his ears. "Do you know why you are here?" Hamza's heart thundered. How does he know my name? He tried to speak, but words failed him. The angel stepped forward. The light grew warmer. Hamza felt its glow on his cheeks, heard the soft with each step. Swish, swish. "You are here because you have forgotten the Shahada," the angel said. "You have lived as if there is no God, yet your soul remembers. It cries out against your neglect." The word struck Hamza like a blow. He remembered his life, long nights in bars, chasing drink and pleasure, mocking faith, telling himself God would not judge him. He had never prayed, never cared, that was true. But now, faced with this vision, his heart trembled. The angel held out a hand. In its palm lay a small scroll, glowing with the same gentle light. Written on it in clear, bold letters were 3 words: La ilaha illallah. "Speak this," the angel said. "Say it with your heart, and you shall be free." Hamza stared at the scroll, blinking tears into his stinging eyes. His voice came out in a raspy whisper. "La." His lips trembled. The angel smiled. There was no judgment in his eyes, only compassion. "You must mean it." He leaned closer. "Believe it." Hamza's chest tightened. He stared into the angel's eyes and felt something uncoil inside him. Could it be true? He remembered passing mosques, seeing Muslims at prayer, feeling a flicker of shame. But he never stopped. Until now. Swallowing, he forced the words out. La ilaha illallah. A rush of warmth spilled through him, like the weight of 100 chains dropping away. The water around him stilled further, turning to gentle ripples at his feet. "Now say the rest," the angel urged softly. Hamza's vision swam. He reached deep, finding a voice that felt both foreign and familiar. Muhammadur Rasulullah. At the second word, the flood of relief overwhelmed him. He sank to his knees on the dry patch of ground, though he could still feel the cool water swirling around him. His shoulders shook as tears poured down his face. The angel stood silently, watching him with kind eyes. After a moment, he spoke again. "Your soul has remembered its Lord. You are reborn in faith. But this is only the beginning." Hamza pressed his hands to his chest. He felt his heart racing, but in a good way, like the beat of a drum calling him home. Awe filled him, and with it, a promise. "I will live differently." The angel raised his wings slightly, and the light brightened. "Return now, Hamza. Awake and live by what you have spoken. Spread this light to others." Hamza's tears blurred his vision, but he nodded. He closed his eyes against the sudden glare, and everything went black. He woke with a start, drenched in sweat, heart pounding. His bedroom was silent. The moonlight slipped through half-open curtains. He reached for his breath, chest tight, mind racing. It had been a dream. But but it felt more real than anything he had ever known. The words still echoed in his heart. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. He sank back onto his pillows, hands trembling as he whispered them again. The words tasted like hope. For the first time in years, Hamza felt something he never had before. Humility. He sat up, swinging his legs over the side of the bed, and leaned forward. Eyes closed, he repeated the Shahada until the dawn light crept in and filled the room. When morning came, Hamza knelt beside his bed and washed his face. He fumbled through drawers and found a small notebook and pen. With a hand still shaking from emotion, he wrote, "I testify, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger." He read it aloud, feeling the sincerity of each word. A tear rolled down his cheek, and he realized he had prayed for the first time. Days passed, and the memory of the dream remained vivid. Hamza changed his routine. He no longer crowded into bars. Instead, he walked to the nearby mosque. At first, he sat at the back, listening to the imam's khutbah. He memorized short surahs of Quran, stumbling over the Arabic but determined to learn. Neighbors noticed. "You're going to the mosque?" they asked with surprise. Hamza nodded, smiling softly. I want to learn." By the end of the week, he prayed Fajr in the mosque. The cool morning air filled his lungs and his heart with peace. The dream's urgency guided him. Live by the Shahada you spoke. He began fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. He gave up the cigarettes he once craved. Each time a desire for his old life surfaced, he whispered the words the angel had taught him. La ilaha illallah. They were like a shield, breaking the power of temptation. Weeks turned into months. Hamza found joy in simple acts, reading Quran with fellow believers, sharing meals after prayer, helping an elderly neighbor carry groceries. He still made mistakes. Sometimes he would miss prayer, sometimes impatience got the better of him, but he always returned to those words, those truths that had saved him. One night, he awoke again with a start. He smelled incense, heard a soft breeze, though his window was closed. He opened his eyes. In the quiet room, nothing moved. But in his heart, he felt the same glow he had felt under the angel's wings. He rose and reached for his prayer mat. He knelt and poured out thanks. Alhamdulillah, you guided me when I was lost. My Lord, accept me. He prayed until the first call to Fajr echoed in the street below. Years later, Hamza stood before a small gathering at the mosque. The imam had invited him to share his story. He was no longer the sinner who mocked faith. He was a man transformed, with lines of warmth around his eyes and a calm voice that drew people close. He told them about the dream, how he sank in dark water, how an angel appeared, how simple words had opened his heart. Some wept. Others whispered the Shahada, as if tasting it for the first time. When he finished, one young man approached. "Brother, I have been stuck in sin, but hearing your story, I want to try." Hamza smiled and placed a hand on the youth's shoulder. "Begin with the words. Let them be your light." And in that mosque, under the simple glow of lamps, the shield of words passed from one heart to another, shining brightest for those who had known only darkness.